How's it going, troops? Jordan here, bringing you episode 14 on my Call of Duty Ghost Weapon Guides. In this episode, I will be covering the USR. The USR is a bolt-action sniper rifle. It originates in the USA and is manufactured by Remington Arms. In real life, the USR, or the Urban Sniper Rifle, is a variant of the original Remington Model 700 sniper. The Model 700 series are bolt-action sniper rifles that are manufactured by Remington Arms in 1962. Each of these rifles often come with a 3, 4 or 5 round internal magazine depending on the caliber. Production still carries on today in present time, albeit with the more later variants of the original weapon. One of these later variants is the Urban Sniper Rifle, or the USR. This Remington Model 700 rifle was designed for the modern day operator who needs advanced capabilities to perform his mission. The USR is the pinnacle of the Model 700 tactical rifle development. First off, it begins with the superb Model 700 LTR, or light tactical rifle, then adds essential tactical components such as a detachable box magazine, Mars rail, variable power optics, adjustable stock, muzzle brake, optional sound suppressor and bipod. In Call of Duty Ghosts, we can see one of these attachments being equipped, that being the bipod. Although the bipod doesn't make any difference in game, it's just a nice aesthetic equipped to the rifle. So now that we've talked about some in real life information about the Urban Sniper Rifle, it's time to take a look at some stats and figures in Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer. The magazine size for the USR is at 6 rounds. If you equip extended mags, this busts the magazine size up to 9. The fire rate is a slow 51 rounds per minute. This fire rate is faster than the L115, however the reason why it is slow is due to the bolt action fire mode. The reload time for the USR is a slow 3.36 seconds or 4.03 seconds when the magazine is empty. However, this might not be so much of an issue if you're taking targets out from distance. A lot of the time when I'm sniping in Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer, I like to keep away from my targets, that way I get to reload without having the pressure of enemies surrounding me. The recoil for the USR doesn't really matter because of that bolt action fire mode, but the weapon tends to kick upwards and towards the right. The damage figures for the USR are pretty good due to it being a sniper rifle at 98. This means it is a one-shot kill in the body area and also a one-shot kill for a headshot, although sometimes hitting the enemy in the arms and legs can land to a hit marker. So overall, the USR does have pretty good stats. Obviously there are two downsides to the weapon, being the reload time and the fire rate, but the fire rate, like I said, is due to the weapon being bolt action, and the reload time doesn't really matter as long as you keep away from your targets over distance. So moving on to my recommended attachments when using the USR sniper rifle. My first recommended attachment has to be chrome lined. Just the fact that we can increase that damage makes the weapon less viable to getting hit markers. Although there is a penalty to the attachment, the fact that it increases the weapon kick can be a bit annoying, but the fact that the weapon is bolt action, it means that by the time you fire the second shot, your scope will already be back on target. Plus with the built-in recoil compensator, this definitely helps you out reduce that recoil, especially if you're going on a kill streak. My second recommended attachment has to be extended mags. Just the fact that we can increase the rounds from 6 to 9, it allows us to fire more shots without the worry of having that slow reload. And finally, my last recommended attachment has to be the thermal scope. Over range, some targets might be camouflaged and blend into the environment, but having that thermal scope allows us to spot out any enemies in glowing white, allowing us to quickly take them out with them thinking that they're camouflaged. So moving on to my recommended perks, my first recommended perk has to be quick draw. Just the fact that we can quickly aim down our sights faster allows us to take our targets out more quickly. My second recommended perk is marathon. Marathon allows us to have unlimited sprint, which allows us to quickly sprint across the map and get to our sniper positions. My third recommended perk is focus. Focus allows us to reduce our flinch when getting shot at. This is quite good if you are aiming down your scope and you get a hit marker on someone and they're firing back. This can reduce the flinch, allowing you to get the second shot and hopefully securing the kill. Another benefit to focus is that it reduces the idle sway, which can be useful when aiming down your scope, but the fact that we can actually hold our breath and actually aim precisely, the benefit is very marginal. My fourth recommended perk is reflex. Now you're probably thinking, why the hell would you use reflex for the USR? Well, if you manage to get a hit marker on someone, then you can quickly switch out to a pistol or a secondary of your choice, and you can quickly take out your target then, and then quickly switch back to your sniper rifle ready for the second target. Another benefit to reflex is that you can toss out lethals and tacticals more quickly, allowing you to quickly gain an advantage over your opponent. My 5th recommended perk is Dead Silence. This goes paired with Marathon, allowing you to sprint across the map without being heard. My 6th recommended perk is Extra Tactical. You will see in one of my class setups I use a thermal scope, and pairing this thermal scope with a couple of smoke grenades can definitely help you out gain an advantage over your opponents with them being unaware that you can see them. My 7th recommended perk is Sleight of Hand. With that slow reload time, like I said, you could equip Sleight of Hand, although it isn't really essential, but it's there if you want to use it. And finally, my last recommended perk has to be Wiretap. Wiretap allows you to have overall awareness of your minimap. If any of your enemies call in SATCOMs and any of your teammates call in SATCOMs, then this perk will utilise the SATCOMs out on the field, which can show you where enemies are located, allowing you to pre-aim before firing. So moving on to my recommended class setups, my first class setup is for general use when using the USR. My attachments choice are chrome lined and extended mags. For my secondary I've gone with the P226 and I've gone with a tactical knife as the attachment for that pistol. For my lethal I've gone with a throw knife and I go with no tactical. For my perks I went with Marathon, Reflex, Quick Draw and Focus. For my strike package I went with Support, and for my strike chain I went with the SATCOM, the Night Owl and the Oracle. My second class setup is, like I said, using the thermal scope attached and pairing it up with those smoke grenades. For my attachments I've gone with chrome lined and the thermal scope. I went with no secondary or lethal, but for my tactical I went with a smoke grenade. For perks wise I went with Marathon, Reflex, Quick Draw, Focus and Extra Tactical, allowing us to have 2 smoke grenades rather than 1. For my strike package I went with Support, and for my strike chain I went with the SATCOM, the Night Owl and the Oracle. So overall the USR is definitely a nice sniper rifle to use. It's definitely amongst the most popular with the fact that it is bolt action, and you see a lot of those quick scopers trying to get those montages with it. Personally I like to lay back and keep my distance away from my foes with the sniper rifles, allowing me to be more accurate and precise and to take out targets over long ranges. So this concludes my weapon guide to the USR. Join me next time when I'll be covering the FP6 shotgun. If you enjoyed this video then a thumbs up would be much appreciated, and until the next video I thank you all for watching, stay true to me troops, and I'll see you in game.